Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tom Galanis, and I run an iGaming marketing consultancy called Tag Media. We specialise in developing and operating affiliate operations for both affiliates and operators. I've been in the business for 12 years, and in that time, I've been involved with notable projects with Bet365, BetVictor, Labyrinth Coral, Rank and Betson, plus many others. That experience in itself doesn't actually qualify me to be presenting this concept to you. What does is the love I have for this industry. A huge number of the business relationships I've set up in that time since 2005 have developed into very strong friendships, and some of the best I have. This industry and the people in it are important to me. But the industry itself, iGaming affiliate marketing, is very much in peril unless we take the collective steps that the current negative PR, particularly in the UK market, is presenting us with. The UK market is the most developed in the industry. It offers the most respected regulatory landscape. But what regulation has done, alongside the fantastic visibility that both operators and affiliates have enjoyed, has brought attention. The right sort of attention from players, but has also placed a target on the industry's back, and we're struggling to defend that collectively. This is to date fallen on our operators to concern themselves with and pass down to us as affiliates. But there have been very, very worrying developments in recent months that indicate to me that now is the time for us to come together, putting competition aside, and work together to further professionalise and to demonstrate that we can raise standards to the wider world, that we are compliant and we're acting to protect the end consumer as much as we possibly can. I'm here today to talk to you about a new association called the IGAA, the International Gaming Affiliate Association, which I and a number of affiliates in the iGaming sector are seeking to establish. As regulations applying to online gaming operators, and indeed most consumer-facing businesses, continue to evolve, we, our gaming affiliates, must work harder to keep pace with regulatory challenges and changes in the marketplaces we work in. The concept of the IGAA has been developing in our minds for some time. Given recent press and wider public comment, there are, to my mind, compelling reasons to create an industry trade association that can bring affiliates together and better represent our industry and the tens of thousands of people that are employed within it. This association would initially be centred around iGaming affiliates who support and deliver marketing activities in the UK to UK licensed operators. But that, of course, includes many affiliates who are registered and based in all parts of the world. Our primary goals are to establish a trade body that will have the power to represent a wide cross-section of affiliates, promote a code of practice, setting out some of the key standards for the IGAA members, and become a platform for the provision of information, advice and trading. Our vision is to create a truly representative trade body that can work with and assist its members in improving standards and industry perception, thereby sustaining and growing this corner of the industry that we all love being part of. There's a lot of work to do. This presentation gives a little more flavour to some of our ideas and initiatives we'd like to promote within the IGAA. That being said, whilst it is me standing here before you, presenting these ideas, the working functions of the IGAA will be decided upon and evolved by our members. This is the mission statement to the IGAA's proposed activities. I don't know if you can read that, so I'm going to read it for you. The International Gaming Affiliate Association will be established to work with its members, iGaming affiliates, to promote standards of compliance with local law and to advocate the raising of standards in the industry to responsibly market and better protect end consumers. At this stage, we have what I'm calling a proposed code of practice and benefits. I've been working with a law firm to focus on delivering the promotion of effective and well thought out compliance, with the initial focus being on the UK and later exploring laws in other jurisdictions. This potential code will be fundamental to the operation of the IGAA, and members would agree to work to this. Draft code will be circulated to potential founding members in due course, but this is what we intend to deliver. Focusing initially on compliance, covering off, in the UK market at least, the three main areas where certainly the press and media brought attention, either through advertising standards agencies or UKGC. So yes, data protection laws. We'll cover this off in a bit more detail, but this is something that is ever evolving, will change when GDPR comes into effect next year. Direct marketing laws and advertising standards, and we'll look at some recent rulings as well in this presentation. Aside from the compliance side of things, what we're going to do is take steps above and beyond what the LCCP guidelines and UK licence requires operators to do through their affiliates. We're going to look to raise standards to new levels and basically designed to improve public and industry perception about what we do as an industry. And lastly, the education side. The membership we aim to bring on is not simply aimed at those who know they're compliant now. It's to work with affiliates that are not sure, and to help them understand the laws that govern the UK. And we will eventually look to international, it's called the IGA for international, look to branch out internationally to other regulated markets, but all in fact grey and certainly darker markets where there may not be gambling regulation, but there may be direct marketing law, data protection law and advertising standards that we need to abide by. So I'm going to cover these off in a bit more detail, starting with compliance. Now, I'm a marketer. Compliance is something that I've always seen as being more focused on business prevention rather than progression. And I think that's what most affiliate managers would probably feel as well, up until fairly recently. And it's certainly something that affiliates may not have given a lot of thought to until this year. So, a lot of this is lined up with comments on the law here, so I'm going to go through it. It's not my area of expertise, but the Data Protection Act in the UK, set out in 1998, established the ICO. The ICO is the Information Commissioner's Office. Now, those affiliates in the UK, further afield, may have received some communication from the ICO at the back end of last year. I'm not going to go into that now, but one of the steps that we propose all affiliates who capture data and use data to do right now is to register with the ICO. So that is the UK's data protection body, enforcement body. There are like-minded ones in other countries all over the world, of which there's a common link between them. So this involves compliance with key principles set out. There are additional factors involved in data protection compliance that are derived from the EU Parliament. Currently, it's progressing to GDPR, which is the EU-wide thing, which is coming into action next May. It will apply across the EU. One imagines that Britain, UK, when we do leave the EU, will probably replicate the same structure post-Brexit. So GDPR will apply to offshore affiliates who hold personal data related to individuals in the EU. So this means that if you're based in China, Australia, New Zealand, Guinea-Bissau, wherever it is in the world, if you deliver any players using their data to the UK market or anywhere in the EU, you need to abide by the laws set out in GDPR. Essentially, this has been designed to protect end users in any sphere, but obviously when it pertains to gaming, it gives people new rights to demand that personal data be erased. And that has complications for operators, but it has complications for affiliates too, which include obviously high fines of 20 million euros or 4% of turnover. For any affiliate, that's probably going to be 20 million euro line. That's up to. So it's a significant thing to be incredibly wary of. And the IGA is will be set out potentially to ensure that affiliates are acting, learning and educating themselves on what they can and can't do when it comes to data collection and data use. Direct marketing law. So this is current law in the UK where players, when they sign up, customers visiting your site, sign up to a newsletter, for instance, required to opt in specifically. The future regulation here, obviously, when it comes to EU, no one's ever quite sure about what will be delivered down to operators and affiliates. We're awaiting guidance on that front. but consent needs to be given freely. It's likely to happen. Consent is likely to be specific, so this is if you capture data with a view to contacting players on your mailing lists or your SMS lists, specific opt-ins, so opt-in to emails, separate opt-in to SMS or telephone conversation, or postal, of course, if you use that somewhat outdated form of communication. Pre-tick boxes, generally, I think as law currently states, are not permitted. You have to get a physical opt-in. And there will possibly be a grace period where you revisit the list you have, gaining consent. Again, the IGA will help. It's designed to help you focus your attention and educate yourselves what you should be doing here. Advertising standards, and this is the one thing that is getting a lot of media attention for the gambling industry and affiliates. We are governed by, when we advertise online, on television, or in the media, the CAP code and the BAC code. These are advertising standards codes, which cover off online, and in fact there's sections in them pertaining to gambling. So I urge you to read those, and it's something the IGA will likely be assisting you in developing and understanding of. There's currently an industry code, so this is a gambling industry code for socially responsible advertising. This is something that's akin to the IGA. It has been set up by operators to ensure that we are acting in a way that is socially responsible. There's also gambling advertising guidance within both of those things, and they do pertain to affiliates. And most recently, you may well have read, and maybe directed by your operator partners if you're affiliates, to remove ads that particularly appeal to under 18s. That was a guidance sent out last week. So recent rulings that have been passed by the various bodies that we are governed by. Leo Vegas and the Advertising Standards Agency. There was an advert placed by the publication Niheta, I think that's how you say it. I might be wrong on that. It was a tweet that went out and stated there may be big wins for Brits after the online casinos glitch. The link that came off this tweet led to a new bonus offer at Leo Vegas' casino, and the Advertising Standards Agency ruled the advertisement was misleading, and they got fined. Bigo Entertainment and the Gambling Commission. Bigo received formal warning of £300,000 fine for breach of the CAP code and BCAP codes. This is pertaining to affiliate adverts that were not removed because they were outdated offers, even after Bigo admitted they were misleading. This is obviously something that causes friction, both of these things, between an operator and an affiliate, and not something that is currently indemnified in any affiliate terms and conditions. So all that happens here is a further abrasiveness between operator and affiliate that we need to work to avoid. And this is the most, you might be most familiar with this one here. I'm not going to read it all, so I'm going to let you dose over it if you want. But it was an advert placed, and it wasn't just consumer, I should probably point that out. It was actually the advertorial piece that Skybet used as the final crossing of the line by their affiliates, and deemed that because of regulatory concerns and issues pertaining to this sort of conduct by an affiliate, that was good reason to close their affiliate program. So this appeared on an affiliate publishing site and is fairly distasteful in nature. I think we can all agree on that one. So whilst we all agree on this, and this sort of piece of marketing which is not good for the industry, we do need to collectively come together and ensure that this thing does not happen again. And when it does, that we present a united front to suggest that we, aside from cases like this, are compliant as an industry and acting in the interests of consumer protection. I'll leave that up there a second. So beyond compliance, those are the key areas. The IGA is going to explore ways in which we can work with affiliates and educate affiliates to market in a more responsible manner. So whilst you may feel you do this now, you may feel you meet what operators set as standards, we aim to go above and beyond that and make sure that we work with our affiliate members to create a united front, if you will, a common way of marketing. So a few of those ideas that we're going to look at as possible functions of the IGAA is proactive engagement with player protection bodies. For those of you who live and work in the UK will be familiar with the Responsible Gambling Trust. We're going to explore the possibility of percentage of your membership fees, which by the way are yet to be decided upon, could be donated to Responsible Gambling Trust. So this is the body that has the Gamble Aware, now Be Gamble Aware logos at the bottom of operator sites, or a similar charitable body like GamCare, and in due course, of course, international counterparts. Alongside that, the carrying of suitable geo-targeted problem gambling and help and advice links. So again, that is both Be Gamble Aware and GamCare. So this would sit in the footer of your websites or in the headers of your social media pages, for instance. And additional fundraising initiatives we may look to undertake too. So this could be obviously events around IGB, and other counterpart conferences where we could, as an industry, conduct fundraising initiatives to help fund these projects and help us work with bodies like the Responsible Gambling Trust and the UKGC to better encourage the work that we do and the work that operators and the wider trade regulatory bodies help us come together and make sure that they understand how we work as an industry. So the identification as affiliate and membership consideration. This will be potentially a statement or a disclaimer at the bottom of your website or the advertising you carry to mention it is advertising and the fact that you, as an affiliate, earn commission from a referral. Alongside that, we aim to provide and honour membership with an IGA kite mark, which obviously we're considering at this stage, once formed, to confirm adherence to a code of practice that we aim to put out. The aim of the founding members is going to be for the IGA to become a recognised industry voice, to provide a sounding board to establish dialogue with relevant regulatory bodies, and to provide a commentary on regulatory developments within the iGaming affiliate industry, and issuing subsequent best practice guidance to educate members and the industry in general. For further consideration, we're also likely to engage in research and developing the IGA's remit and code of practice internationally. Research projects will be driven by potentially membership communities within the body. So that could be channel specific, it might be focused on SMS affiliates, it might be focused on email affiliates, or similarly internationally, we'll have international branches, that's certainly something for consideration. And of course, as new technology evolves, the code, the practice that we abide by will need to evolve too, to make sure that we're adopting it and we're doing so in the best interest of consumer protection. So in terms of a learning experience, we hope, or we intend for possible members to engage with, online and event-based learning, which will be market-specific, so obviously focusing initially on the UK, channel-specific. I touched on SMS, obviously data protection law. If you just run a website and don't collect any data, this might not pertain to you whatsoever. But of course, if you're looking at it as a possible function of driving new traffic, we aim to have video content from industry leaders. This might be from operators, it might be from law firms, providing clear and present guidance as to how to best capture and use data in light of existing and future legislation, and obviously preparing you for what is a bit of a minefield in terms of GDPR for those that send SMS and email out. We also aim to provide support through potential funds, provide partnerships with industry service providers. So I mentioned IGB, they're a potential partner that we look to work with. We obviously won't be restricted or aim to remain independent in terms of who we partner with. But of course, these conferences offer an excellent opportunity for us to deliver educational pieces to our affiliate members. So, as I mentioned, was about to mention, we're looking to establish a fund through membership, through other fundraising initiatives, to provide affiliates with those that I guess cannot necessarily afford full compliance in-house, full legal services, tapping into resources the IGA will have tied to it through different bodies. And there'll be different levels of membership pertaining potentially to this, which will be providing either a full compliance audit, maybe every year, or ad hoc support when you're releasing a new bit of content, a new web page, just to make sure that you're on point and you're not breaking the law. and obviously providing access to research as well that we conduct. So different guises of the support services we provide. Might be a legal help desk, which might be an online web chat, touching base with a lawyer, compliance support and auditing, as I touched on, and then specific guidance for channels and when we get to it, potentially international. And offer bespoke training, should the affiliate wish it, and of course the funds. So in terms of next steps, we're still at a stage where everything is a possibility. I'm not coming to you saying this is how it's going to be. It's going to be a body that is for members, for affiliates to come together and drive the development of a code of practice. So we're looking to get some founding members on board. My contact details at the end of this presentation, if you're interested. The process of becoming a member is yet to be resolved. As I said earlier, the pricing tiers. All these need to be well thought out. Asking affiliates to part with money is challenging in my experience, so we've got to make sure that what we have to offer is sufficient to be interesting, so that you can understand the long-term gains to be had here, while hopefully offering up some short-term gains as well. The constitution by which we will work by and the membership will vote and elect a committee is still to be decided, and that structure itself may not be a committee. We are at the moment in the process of drafting a code of practice for review for the membership, but the founding members will come together, and as the membership grows, we're always going to look to evolve this code of practice based on new market regulation and laws that we are held accountable to, and of course technology as well. We're exploring the possibility of a gold standard, which will be for affiliates to have full compliance reviews. That format is still to be decided. But that should carry significant weight when it comes to your practices, who you deal with, and hopefully long-term the kind of partnerships you can look to establish with operators. So touched upon legal funds, education and research. All these things are at the concept stage, and we look to progress them in the future. We do expect to have other benefits for founding members too, to help for those short-term gains before we look to expand this internationally, which is a minefield of challenges in itself. So that's the brief introduction. If anyone has any questions they'd like to fire me, I'll try my best to answer them. Obviously at this stage, everything is a possibility, so there would be on that one. Does anyone have any questions?
Here's your chance to ask Tony questions. I have a quick question, actually. I mean, there was the Gambling Affiliates Union, wasn't there, a number of years ago? I'm just wondering, obviously the time of this, you mentioned of this Skybet closure and so on. I mean, what gives you, why is the time right for this now, Tom? Why was it not right that number of years ago? And I think what you're offering seems to be far more comprehensive than what was offered then. But I'd like to say a few words about that. I'd be interested.
Yeah, in terms of timing, this was, ironically, we had a roundtable discussion, one of the first ones we held, the day Skybet announced their intention to close their affiliate program. Perfectly timed, you might say. But the way that the industry landscape is working against the gambling community, particularly in the UK. And to my point earlier, the UK is the most progressive, well-regulated, and in most people's eyes, market in the world. People will look to us for change. What's been happening lately, the directives that have been passed down by the GC to operators, there hasn't been a collective fight back. Fight back's the wrong word. A collective response, a structured response. One might argue that the response from operators when asked to remove cartoons and other items that are attractive to under 18s, the response really ought to have been, well, these kids cannot play with us. And providing stories in the press indicating exactly all the good stuff we do to protect players and to prevent underage gambling. That didn't come from the operators. Now the operators, when it comes to affiliates, I'm not going to say going to throw us under the bus, but we've got to be wary of the fact that in recent light of some of the rulings I pointed out, there's a negative tide that we do need to respond to, and now's the time. And to answer your point, that probably wasn't there. It wasn't on people's minds several years ago.
Would you think an organisation like this, in a way, can head off I mean, it hasn't been suggested yet, but I mean, if you look at markets like the US, obviously it's definitely affiliates are going to have to be licensed there, aren't they? It starts in New Jersey and it's become that model as they roll out. I think an organisation like this can kind of head the need for that off in a way, this kind of preemptive kind of action. Do you see it that way?
Our intention is to focus on collective action, to professionalise. It is to demonstrate that the 99% of affiliates that operate in this space are responsible, are compliant, and to deliver a combined response to present to the media and the public, and obviously the industry at large as well, and that includes regulators. That we're doing what it takes to be compliant and to go beyond what is set out in the UK and the LCCP license guidelines to show that we're acting responsibly in terms of consumer protection. That's a political answer, by the way.
Fair enough. Political's good. Anybody else got any questions for Tom? Okay, I have another one actually. I mean, the thing that came out of the Skybet situation, and also more recently, I remember Online Casino Reviewer was in terms of he ended up suing, didn't he, the program, Dave? So the issue is affiliate contracts, isn't it? I mean, how's the IGAA going to approach that aspect? Because the problem is that I guess affiliates signed up to those contracts a very long time ago, and it clearly says in them, doesn't it, that Skybet could have actually closed the program far more quickly than it actually did, didn't they? And I remember, and I think Dave's dispute with the affiliate program was that he wasn't notified of it. But I think if you look at their terms and conditions, it says in terms and conditions that all they had to do was post it on their website. So how is the IGA going to approach that kind of the contractual kind of situation? How does it aim to kind of resolve that and build that kind of dialogue between operators and affiliates, and I guess develop a standard contract? Is that going to be the aim for you? That kind of that works better for affiliates in that respect?
We don't intend to get involved in individual disputes between affiliates and operators. It's not what we've been designed to set up. Our approach really is a longer-term game here. It's addressing issues that are being passed down, directed to operators, to the affiliate managers, that currently exist in the media climate, and get a handle on this. Because obviously most affiliates are compliant. Most of those that were affected by Skybet's decision to close their affiliate program were compliant. I'm not going to get into why that happened. You're not going to get an answer from me on that one. How affiliates should address that. Now, individually, actually you can take whatever action you want against Skybet. You may or may not have a case. That's to obviously seek independent legal advice on that one. But what I'm playing here is, and what I intend the IGAA to do and the membership to do, is to play the long game. And this is about professionalising, and with that, demonstrating we're acting compliantly and responsibly, doing more than operators are asking us to do. Should, in the long term, hopefully reduce the need for such strict, what I call the FU clause in affiliate contracts, reduce the need for that. And of course there's always a possibility for affiliates at some stage, when it comes to dialogue with an operator, and that's usually the best first course, to address contractual concerns on an individual level. But for us it's the long-term game here. It's demonstrating that we can act professionally, collectively, as a body, but as an industry, to I guess, smooth over the partnership issues that may exist at present, the risks that are attached to operators dealing with affiliates, and hopefully get rid of them.
Any more questions from the audience? Okay. I haven't actually got any more. I think Tom's covered everything in incredible detail there. Also, it's a hugely ambitious project, and I'd just like to thank Tom for presenting on it today, and to wish him all the best with it. And everyone, give Tom a round of applause. Thank you.